Okay, so it says a student is investigating the strength of the electromagnets. So we want the strength. Now again, you should see that and think, well, we know this, we've done this before. What can we do? We can do with the coils, we can turn up the voltage, and it's what is the core made of, so wrap it around the core. So every time you read something, make down some notes of what you already know. So figure 1 shows these electromagnets. So again, let's just make sure we're getting the right figure. We've got 3. So a student hung a line of paper clips from each magnet. So we've got 20, 30 and 30. Okay. Now, can you notice, let's see what's different here. So these 2 diagrams initially look identical. However, if you look a little bit closer, you will see that the cell, the battery, is actually in the opposite direction. So we've got the current going that way and the current going that way. Okay, let's have a look. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 paper clips here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paper clips there, and we have got 6 there. So we already know this, don't we, that if we increase the turns, we increase the number of paper clips because we've increased the strength. Okay, so no more paper clips can be hung from the bottom of each line. Complete the conclusion that the student should make. Increasing the number of turns of wire will, well, I'd hope that you would all get increase there for 1 mark. Okay. So which 2 pairs of electromagnets should be compared to make this conclusion? Okay. Oops. So it's basically saying if you had to put 2 of them side by side, which one would you put? Well, initially you should put A and B. Why? Because they're both going in the same direction. Okay. All you've done, remember when you want to compare, you can only change 1 variable. So you couldn't compare that one and that one because they've changed the number of turns and the direction of the current. So that's not really a fair test. It's not really very reliable. So you can only change 1 thing. So there's only 1 thing between A and B. So we put A and B. And then there's only really 1 difference between B and C because they're exactly the same, but they've changed the current. So that is why we compare them to. Okay, 2 things that they should control. So again, 2 and what control? Now control means keep the same. So this will be helpful if we go back to our original list over here. What can change the strength? Well, the number of coils, the voltage and the core. Now in this, they've only changed the number of coils. So what that means is we've now got 2 answers that we need to control. So we need to keep the voltage the same. Okay, that will get us 1 mark. And we also need to keep the material, okay? Actually, just saying allow same nail, okay, that is going to get you enough. The other thing you might have done is you might, an extra marks is obviously we want to keep the paper clips the same because obviously if we use different sizes that would have an impact. And we also want to keep the length of wire the same because if we have more wire it might, but those 2 are the best answers, okay, because they link into what we've been doing. But you will still get a mark for each one of them. So, okay, B. The cell in an electromagnet A is swapped around to make the current flow in the opposite direction. This is shown in figure 2. What is the maximum number of paper clips that can now be hung in a line from this electromagnet? Well, we should have figured out by looking here that changing the direction has made no difference whatsoever. So if it held 4, it should only hold 4. And that's what your explanation should be, okay? B is the same as C. Okay, which is going to get us, so we get 1 mark right and 4. B is the same as C, so A should pick up the same. current is swapped. Okay, so or you might have said direction has no effect. So you get 1 mark for your answer 4 and 1 mark for B is the same as C, so you'd expect A to pick up the same if the current is swapped, reversed, or you might say B is so A would should pick up the same because the direction of current has no effect. So all of that is worth 1. Okay. Again, if you're not sure about your answer, always ask. Okay. This says electromagnetic A is changed to have only 10 turns of wire. So we've just established that 20 turns equals 4 and 30 turns equals 6. Yep, that's right. However, we want 10 turns to suggest the maximum number that could be hung. So that is, we've taken away 2. So if we take away 2, we get 2. 2 is your answer. Okay, on to question number 6. Nearly there now, only 2 left. Okay, so a teacher uses the equipment shown in the figure below. Now this question is a level 3 question, so these last 2 questions are the hardest questions that were on the paper. My computer is just being a little slow, so let's just, there we go. Okay, so a teacher used the equipment shown in the figure below to demonstrate the motor effect. Okay, so we've got a magnet, this copper rod is it. Now this is a very different diagram to what you have seen before, so I would make sure that you understand this diagram. So let's have a little look. We've got a switch.